Are robots really helping?
Robots are absolutely helping. So the robot industry has been around for 30, 40 years, pretty focused in the car industry. There is a new class of robot, and that's the class that we're bringing to market. And that is robots that are simple, easy to use, inexpensive, and can do a broad set of manufacturing tasks. And that is going to bring a much, much bigger robot market or set of applications into the robot market.
Steve?
Yeah, I think that we're seeing a renaissance of new applications for robotics. Companies like Rethink are producing robots that can operate in and among people and address the 90% of all manufacturing activities that are currently not automated. We have robots at companies like Tesla and SpaceX that make them much more productive, but they're doing the dangerous high-speed tasks that we imagine in those factory robots. All the other places where people are putting things in boxes or loading or unloading machines, all those jobs that are very repetitive,
right.
Those tasks, 90% of them in manufacturing have not been automated.
I think of the I Love Lucy scene where she's working on the conveyor belt.
Right, exactly.
So Scott, why was it automotive for so long and only automotive for so long, Scott?
Well, the technology has changed quite a bit. So what we had before were essentially expensive and very precise and inflexible machines, because that was the state of the technology. They were a class of mainframes when the market really wanted a Mac. And what exists today is cheap sensors, cheap computation, widely available connectivity, and the ability to make a software-driven robot. And that creates a whole different world of robotics. And that's what Rethink Robotics is all about.
It also seems to be your reprogrammability of your stuff. The fact that, use the Mac as an example. You can use the Mac for a lot of things. You can do it to crunch a spreadsheet. You can make a slideshow presentation. You can play a video game. And it doesn't take a lot of work for the user to go from one to the next to reprogram or run different programs. Is that sort of the key to the future, Scott?
That is a critical part of it. It's a great point. So a typical robot, the type you see in the automotive industry, they take 200 hours to program. Our robots take about 2 hours, and a typical non-expert can program and operate the robot. And remember, as Steve mentioned earlier, they're interacting side by side with the robot right in the manufacturing floor. So they're directly manipulating the arm and easily training the robot. That means you can take a robot from one job to another. You can automate small production runs, which is what you see in today's flexible manufacturing. You can also get into small and medium business, and there have been almost no robots in small and medium manufacturing up till now. So it's a dramatic expansion of where robots can be used and who can use them.
When you say it's easily programmed, I can be a testament to that. My son, at the age of 12, programmed the Rethink robot that I bought on a whim, much like an Apple Macintosh or an Apple II. It's in our office, and you program it by just moving the arms. You don't use a keyboard, you don't code. You just say, arm goes here, grabs cup, or rather you move it. So you teach it through tactile motion, which anyone can do without any training. And so that just makes it incredibly easy for any business to consider. Take it out of the box, plug it in the 110 outlet, get it to work. And I'm kind of curious where you're seeing this uptake around the world. Is it, in the heartland of America? Is it overseas? Where do you find most of the interest in this product?
Well, it's actually in lots of different markets. So we have focused as a company first on American manufacturing. And we have lots of robots in plastics manufacturing, metal manufacturing, consumer goods, packing and packaging, even some warehousing and packaging applications. We have a lot of new interest from international markets for those same sort of vertical markets, as well as for some electronics manufacturing, a whole new industry that has used very few robots so far.
I want to talk really briefly, you're there in Mass, and I want to talk about iRobot, a company that came to market, I don't know, maybe 10 years ago with this sort of similar promise of revolutionizing robotics, bringing robotics into the home, having enormous growth in lots of different sectors. And, it's a business that did, $500 million in sales last year. It's up a little bit, I guess, over historically, but not a lot. Most of the markets they've gone into, they've generally failed at, or at least failed to get them of any size. And it's still really a vacuum cleaner company, and now about to face competition from the vacuum king in Dyson with a Dyson 360. What is the struggles? I won't call them a total failure, but what are the struggles of iRobot taught us about the business? Scott?
So I can't comment too specifically on iRobot, although I would point out that not only they revolutionized the vacuum cleaner, they also revolutionized bomb disposal robots for military settings, and that was an enormous market when we had two ground wars going on. What the lesson you can learn from iRobot, that much of the new generation of robots, like Rethink Robotics, are using, is software-driven, sensor-driven robots, and ease of use. And Cory, you said you've got a Roomba.
Yeah.
You push one button.
My wife
and
hates it.
That's pretty easy.
By the way,
to use.
note to married guys, not really a great Christmas present. Like, but honey, it's a robot vacuum. It's not just a vacuum cleaner for Christmas. Still a failure at Christmas. But yes, I have the thing. I like it. My wife refuses to use the thing. It's just another vacuum cleaner.
But it's you know what they often say about robots is once you stop calling it a robot and you start calling it a vacuum cleaner, or whatever it might be, then it's successful. Because the idea of it being something different is out of your head, and now it's a tool for you. It's a tool for vacuum cleaning, and it's successful. I mean, we see the same thing in our manufacturing customers. They stop thinking about our Baxter robot as some strange piece of automation, and it's part of the manufacturing team. They give them names. They put their company T-shirt on it. They put the school sign on it, and it becomes part of the factory team. That's when you've really adopted the robot as a coworker that is helping the employees in the factory to be successful.